like a mouse. And that was a totally different story. The cats were low to the ground, completely silent. Ears, instead of pinned back, they were open to localize sound. And the cats would inch forward. And they appeared to be planning and carrying out an attack at the moment of their choosing, typically with a bite to the neck or head, a very efficient bite and attack that ended the fight really before it began. And over the next several decades, that line of research expanded to other mammals, including humans. And what they discovered was that not only do these behavioral patterns hold true in humans, but they're also biologically distinct from one another. And the understanding came now that affective violence, so that reactive attack, is triggered by lower brain structures in the limbic system, triggering an intense autonomic arousal, as I've discussed, usually accompanied by intense fear or anger, and a cascade of hormones, all culminating in a sudden physical defense against imminent threat, which could be real or perceived. It could be an internalized threat. And the evolutionary basis for that in humans is survival. So if you were an early human out on the savannah, there was really no time to ponder whether that movement in the bush was caused by the wind or a predator. The early humans who acted quickly were the ones who survived. In terms of predatory violence, we now understand that to be characterized by a lack of autonomic arousal or emotional experience and no perception of a threat. And that lack of stimulation allows for higher cortical activity in the brain to choreograph an attack that meets the attacker's goals, whatever those goals may be. And the evolutionary basis for that in humans is hunting for food. So early humans on the savannah who hunted with minimal autonomic arousal, no anger or fear, were better able to engage higher brain functions to plan and prepare in advance, and therefore were likely to return with food for their offspring. Those who could not or did not do that were less likely to survive and pass on their genes. And we know that humans, like none of us would be here right now if our ancestors didn't have the capacity for both of those types of violence. So fast forward to now, there have been studies on neurochemicals and hormones, neuroanatomical brain scans with PET and MRI, to look at the differences between these two modes of violence, and all of them support the bimodal nature of violence. So that research evolved more or less concurrently with behavioral studies that were going on in the 80s and 90s on attacks against celebrities, judges, governmental figures, and some others,